So everyone remembers OutRun, right? The classic Sega arcade racing game where you drive a Ferrari Testarossa down a road and encounter many forks leading to different locations and trying to reach the finish line so you could get some wacky victory celebration? Yeah, we're not touching that one, because we've already touched it several times already. Instead, we're looking at Battle OutRun, released in 1989 for the Sega Master System in European markets. And other than the fact that you drive a Ferrari-like car, there is very little reason to be calling this game OutRun anything, other than for cynical marketing reasons. In fact, the gameplay here has more in common with another arcade driving game whose name escapes me at the moment, but sure ain't OutRun. Now, setting that aside, how's the actual game? Well, it's a driving game for the most part. You drive past cars and try to reach the end goal of the track and such. Said goal is not a finish line or checkpoint, however, but rather one of 9 speeding mob bosses, that's what the game calls them at least, that you have to pursue and take down to earn a sizable bounty that you could purchase on stuff. So the idea with Battle OutRun, and really the battle part doesn't come into play until you catch up with the bounty, is that you have 8 stages to choose from initially, with a 9th unlock once the initial 8 is cleared. Don't get too excited, you're better off doing it in order unless you fancy your driving skills in your underpowered red car, trying to chip away massive health bars with seconds to spare. I wouldn't recommend it, but anyway, you pick your track, you pick one of 4 generically sounding songs, and then you do your driving avoiding cars and hazards like signs, rocks, and sharp turns, among other things. There's also ramps that propel you into the air to leave you airborne, that sort of thing. About halfway through the track, or probably not even, a little before that, you'll be able to board a semi-truck, where you'll be able to purchase upgrades for your car. You have 3,000 to start with, but you earn more after catching bounties and things of that nature. So you have body armor to reduce the amount of speed lost whenever you bump into cars, tires to improve your grip, engine upgrades to increase your speed, and chassis upgrades to improve your airborne tendencies. You also have the option to purchase some nitro, which can be used by pressing up on the D-pad to give yourself a temporary boost of speed, so long as you're holding the button down at least. And then you drive some more until you reach the target, and then you try to bump into that target enough times to drain his life meter to 0. And once that's done, you win, you get the bounty, along with a bonus depending on how much time you have left when the deed is done. Yes, you are timed, and if you fail to catch the crook before time runs out, it's game over. Fortunately, you do have unlimited continues, so it's not a total lost cause. Battle OutRun has its moments of frustration with the constant bumping into cars and the sharp turns. Even with purchased modifications to your vehicle, I feel these are things that don't always feel like improvements, and trying to get past opposing cars who actively try and block you, either to keep you from their boss or simply because they can't drive for shit, either way works, feels more like a shot in the dark than anything requiring any significant driving prowess. Now, after some practice, you eventually get the hang of it and things start to look up. But Battle OutRun has 9 long stages for you to tackle, with the 9th one being unlocked once you complete the initial 8. And while I started to have a little fun with this once things got going, by the halfway point, I was starting to feel a little bored with this one. Maybe if there was more meat added to the battle portion of Battle OutRun, so that it made it feel less like a Chase HQ ripoff where you were just hitting... Oh wait, that's it, that was the game I was thinking of, Chase HQ. I've seen it a couple times before, never really played it, but I've it doesn't quite work, does it? Oh well, at least the controls are responsive and straightforward, and the car handles well enough, I suppose. Your car only has automatic transmission, which may turn off some folks who prefer that sleeker control of manual transmission, but it's nothing too drastic. I do like the idea of upgrading your car with the bounty money you buy, and getting a game over doesn't deprive you of all your upgrades, only the ones you've acquired in the level you lost in. And unlimited continues means you could try as many times as you wish to complete the game, which shouldn't take long if you could be bothered to do so, that is. Battle OutRun sports some rather basic, but some decent graphics at least. You have a nice red car, and the mob cars look pretty good, though the generic yellow cabs you have to outmaneuver look like generic yellow cabs, being charitably generous in that description. At least they don't look like fences, nobody's going to get that. The scaling isn't fantastic, but I've seen worse. I like how whenever you hit an invisible checkpoint, usually just as you're coming up the truck or just about to reach your target, the cars suddenly pick up speed and they drive away from you. That's rather funny. There's some nice basic scenery in the background, and I do enjoy some of the mugshots in this game, like the ridgeless Klingon or the one who looks like that dude who pities fools and loves his mother. Kinda neat, I guess. Now, Outrun games usually have some sweet music to serenade you on your driving escapades, and Battle Outrun is not one of them. The game has 4 tunes you could choose from, and as a bonus, each tune is followed up with its own unique boss music for when you're battling the target. And this is precisely the type of music that makes me dread anything coming out of the stock Master System sound processing unit. Too bleepy, too bloppy, tediously generic, grating on my nerves. It's not good. Sound effects are a thing though, not much else to say there. They exist, they're fine, I guess, I suppose. Overall, I have mixed feelings about Battle OutRun. On the one hand, I enjoyed the driving bits when I don't have to outmaneuver shit drivers and rocks, and the ability to upgrade your car with money earned from capturing mob bosses is a good idea, but the combat element could have used more fleshing out to keep it from getting boring, and the long levels don't help much in keeping the gameplay from falling into that lower end of tedium. Suffice to say, I had a little fun with this, but the fun didn't last, and I moved on from cursing at virtual shit drivers on my screen to cursing at actual shit drivers on the road. All in all, Battle OutRun is kind of meh, and I guess this is the part where I'm supposed to say I liked this game when it was called Chase HQ, except I've never played that game. I've heard good things, apparently. So I'll just settle with I like Outrun games that play like Outrun. It's the best I could come up with. Good night.